Hello everyone, it's been a long time you heard from me and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm excited to share my journey as I move back to Ghana, and it's not just a personal journey, it's a story of hope, opportunity and returning back to my roots. The energy is very infectious. It's a warm welcome back to my homeland. And while this is a significant step for me, it also symbolizes the potential for many of us to invest and thrive back home. To be at a place where you get to spend time with your family and loved ones and get to be able to give back to the community that raised you up. I mean, family means everything, and seeing the loved ones again reminds me why I came back. It's about supporting each other and building our communities together. And this is one of the most powerful aspects of returning. It's about reconnecting and collaborating for a brighter future. So this channel, I'm going to talk a lot about farming. I came purposely to also do farm. And I'll just try to share my journey with you, the challenges that I'll be facing. I mean, this is part of the video that was sent to me while I was trying to secure a land to farm. And there's been a lot of challenges, but beyond every challenge that we have seen and encountered, even finding the right person to work with, the right person to give you the right price for the land and all that has been very challenging. You meet people, you come back and you realize that, oh, whatever that you were charged and whatever that was taken from you was way more than what the actual price of the land is. They bring all kinds of figures and all kinds of things just to be able to take money from you. But just have an open mind and a sweet spirit and a sweet heart. As long as you are very resilient and you have in mind the reason why you came, you'll be able to do well. So I'm just going to share with you a couple of videos that I've taken so far since I came and how far we've been able to go through. I'm envisioning a future where we invest in our communities and support local businesses and foster innovation, because there's so much talent and potential here, and I want to be part of this transformation. And I believe that together we can create jobs and uplift those around us. There is so much of importation of food and vegetables from outside Ghana, and I believe that there's so much that we can also do ourselves. So this is a video panning over the land after we had payloaders and machines to clear over the land, because this land is going to be used for Habanero pepper farming, and that's the intention of why I got this land. It's quite close to homes, so this is a residential land that we got, and for the time being we just want to use it for vegetable farming. And whilst we get our feet grounded here and understand how the business and everything entails, we'll be able to expand from here. So that's me just trying to take a drone shot. So where I'm standing, that whole side was also left. It was not cleared by the machines, and I had to be here in person to make sure that we clear all that side. There's a couple of other spaces where we also have not been able to clear because there are other members of the community that are farming over there. So they had planted their maize and other stuff over there, and I didn't want to destroy it. So I just decided that I'll clear the part that I'm able to clear. Then the rest of it, I'm just going to leave them once they have their food stuffs or their crops mature, go to maturity stage and they harvest them. Then I'll come on later to come and clear the rest. So at this stage, we had cleared the land, we had plowed, and I was just thinking, why not I get them to come and do everything at once where the blow poly tanks were currently lying. So they came over to come and plow the land, and you see in the next videos as we go along the land being cleared. Now, talking about plowing of land, one challenge that I had was I thought it was just something easy you just go out there, someone has a plowing machine, then you find. Because in the entire community, sometimes it can take you as long as, it's more like a waiting list. You have to wait, you have to follow up. It's not, has nothing to do that with your money, that you don't have the money to pay, but it's just that there's more demand and there's few farm equipment. So there are people in the queue already, and they want to prepare their land as well. So you just have to wait, you just have to keep following up. And this one of the challenge, they will tell you that, hey, I'm coming. Could be a week, could be 2 weeks, it could be more than a month. All you have to do is that you just have to keep pressing them, following up. I remember even this one, I had to spend almost 2 days not sleeping over, but staying at the place where the machine are, just to make sure that they will come over to come and do this work for me. So you can see that they've done it very nicely. And this is a very hard ground, because we had to plow the land 2 times just to break up the soil. Even with that, we had to use pickaxe at a point because we needed to form beds, and we needed to use pickaxe at a point to dig and break up some of the soil, just so that it can be possible for us to loosen the soil for the vegetable production that we're about to do. If it was to be any other crop, maybe we're just doing some cassava or whatever, we wouldn't have spent so much time. But preparation is very important. Land preparation is very, very important. So as you can see over here, the machine came back and they came to clear the whole place. And after the payloader has cleared off the whole place on the other side, the plowing machine just came to also continue doing what they need to do. And this is actually the tractor with the harrowing blade. So one of the things I also learned is that it's just one machine, but they have many different parts. So this same tractor can have a harrowing blade at the back. It can also have a plowing blade at the back. You can also have a bed former, and they'll be able to do all that they need to do. So you can see even from the dust that is coming, that is a lot of effort just to make sure that the land is really dealt with. This will give you a very close-up view. So after clearing it, because we were waiting for the tractor to come and do the land preparation, initially I'd planned to have my agronomist promised that he was going to be able to do all this, but I'd been waiting, but we were just still not being able to get a machine. So one thing I would advise that you just always have to have a backup plan, even with the agronomist, because you don't have to trust or take anyone's word fully. They may be able to tell you that this is what they are going to do. Like if you are living in the West, whether in UK, Europe, or wherever, there's this there's a mindset, there's an expectation that you know that when you book an appointment or you book for someone to come and do your work for you, you know very well that the time that they have given to you, they are going to come. And if for whatever reason there's going to be any challenges, they will communicate that to you. But not in the case of some of these artisans that we have over here, like these farm workers with their machine. They will tell you that they are coming and they will never come. And they will never give you an explanation as to why they are not coming. You ask them, do you want extra money just so that they can come and do your work for you? They will tell you, no, it's not just about money, they are coming. Sometimes they may tell you, yes, you can just add a little bit to it, but they will still delay you. Why? Because I got to understand that when they see that the work that they are coming to do for you, they will have to factor in the distance from your farm to the roadside or to the nearest town. So because they are also running business and running numbers, so they would rather go to a place where there is more land, where they are going to do like 5 acres, 10 acres, 20 acres, or hundreds of acres. So they will put their preference over there because they know that they are going to cash in or make a lot of money from that area than going to a land or a farm area where there is less land. So that's why another option could be getting a walking tractor. A walking tractor can be able to be used for such small scale farm, and when they are not in use, you can also put it up for rent. But anyway, before you even think of that, you just make sure that it's something that you have already checked the market and you know that it will be in demand, and there are farmers who are willing to pay. Because most of our farmers here, especially with the traditional farmers here, they are not willing to spend so much because they know this is how they've been doing it over the years. And you have come in as a young person, you want to do all kinds of stuff, and they think that you are naive, you don't know exactly what you are doing, why are you spending so much? But the reason why you are investing so much into it is because science has improved our knowledge. Science is able to explain to us why and what makes a plant really grow or a vegetable really grow. Does it have to do with the soil? Because I've seen videos where people have grown, for example, in Israel, where they are able to cultivate vegetables right from rocks and stone, because they understand that what a plant needs to be able to grow and to bear fruit is the nutrition that it will get from the soil. So if it is stones and whatever, and you are able to give it the right nutrition, whatever that you need to do after having soil tests, you know that, okay, this soil lacks enough nitrogen or potassium or calcium. So what you have to do is that perhaps maybe if you add organic manure and you leave it over a period of time, they'll be able to disintegrate and come down to be able to make sure that you have a rich, fertile soil. There are some plants, it's not necessarily because they do well in a particular area. The reason is because we say they do well in this particular area or this particular type of ground is because of the nutrition that you get over there. Now you can see on your screen that we've put in some pegs, and I had to get some guys to help me to do this bet. So we ended up doing our bet manually, because I kept chasing for a bed former to come. I couldn't find a bed former. Then I said, okay, what can I do? I need to find a ridger. And the ridger promised to come after we had plowed the land. It had been a week, and we didn't just want to leave the land lying down. So I was like, okay, let's just start with something. And lo and behold, if we had waited for the ridger to come, we would have sat down for another about 3 to 4 weeks before we get our ridger to come. And even when the ridger comes, it doesn't give you the right shape that you want. So that is how come I decided, okay, we are going to go the manual way, which is very tedious, because doing it the manual way, we used between 4 and 5 weeks to finish up everything. I'm saying between 4 and 5 weeks because we did actually finish within 4 weeks, but we had some couple of issues with the rain, which I will share later on, if not in this video. So that's me standing there trying to take a couple of shots, just trying to understand. It's always nice to see what you are doing from an area point of view. It gives you a very wide perspective when you are looking at things. You are not just narrow. So I try to look at it from a panoramic point of view, trying to look at it from different angles. So that's the bed over there. You can see that even after plowing and harrowing, you can see small sand, like rocky nature. It's not that smooth. If it was a machine, it would have been very smooth, but this is okay. This is also good to go as well, as long as the reason why we do all this is just to make sure that the peppers are in an upright position, because we don't want to have a situation whereby they are on the ground. If there is any splash of water and rain, just to avoid any form of flooding for whatever issue, then the peppers will be able to have room enough for their root to breathe well and to germinate properly. So I did this bed on this other side, which I later on even have not really used it because we had a change of plan and we've cultivated maize there. The plan was initially to do 2 acres, but looking at the nature and the intensity of work that was going on, I decided to settle to work on 1 acre of land. So the land over which we have here is just over 3 acres, not up to 4 acres, just a little over 3 acres, about 3.5 acres. Then we decided to just settle on 1 acre of the land and do this. So after you've gotten your land, the next thing you do, you have to clear the land if the land has not been cleared already. And when we talk about clearing the land, ideally, if possible, I would advise to use a machine, because you cut down the part of trying to chase up and follow up on the people that are doing it, because even when they clear the land by weeding with cutlasses, there is also another challenge where you have to find another team or pay another team again to come and uproot root stumps. And if they are big trees, or you need to find a chainsaw to come and cut all those trees over there. So you can see that whilst work was going on, you can see there's some blue fence net over there. I was also doing my part trying to put up a fence net. I basically did this because I'm very close to the community and they have domestic goats that are loitering about, and I don't want any issues with the goats coming over, because goats love pepper and vegetables and they would like to come over to break into the farm. Now what happened here was we had already started making the bed, and you can see over there that we started having rainfall, so we had to redo this again. We did it again and it happened again, and the reason why it happened again was because I was not around, so I was off the farm going up and down trying to solve other things as well. So thankfully the third time I was right on the farm and it was raining. I stood in the rain and I was able to identify where exactly the rain was coming from, trying to destroy the beds that we were doing, because the bed had not been topped up fully to the level that I wanted. So once I saw what the issue was, I knew that the source of the water was from the community, was a gutter that was coming. And that is me over here holding a shovel. I was trying to understand. This was the second time it had happened, why this had happened. And I saw the water was making its natural path over there. So this informed me that even if we block it again, when we get into the major rainy season, it's going to become worse. So what I did was that I decided to allow the water to pass through where it had naturally passed. So we just had to cut our beds into sometimes into three pieces or 2 pieces, depending on where the water had passed, just to make sure that if ever it rains after we have put the mulch on, the water will just pass through its natural channel and go to the other side of the land, where we have a bit of an area where we should have filled with the soil, but it wasn't filled to a topsoil, so it has created sort of a pond. I'll find a video and share with you in one of these videos. So this is me just trying to move this. I was just trying to understand what is happening, so I was creating this part over here. Anyway, you can see I was struggling over there because I'm not really used to it. But hey, once you start something and you keep at it, you realize that over time you get used to it. You get to understand all the difficulties and the challenges you are making. This definitely is something that we cannot allow to happen on the farm, especially with vegetables, because the more all this stagnant water is around, look beyond mosquitoes. There's an opportunity for insects and pests to lay their eggs, for them to breed, and we don't want that at all. Even though we are farming towards the dry season, we want all this to go away. So you can see that on the other side, on the top, when I pan the camera over there, you can see that I've got some guys that were helping for us to redo it again. And this was me talking to the person who was videoing the camera, because I was just sharing my ideas, trying to understand how best we can do. Now, talking about the guys that I was working with, that's another thing I should talk about. It is very difficult to find people to work with you in their community. In fact, when you even find them in the community or the nearest community, they tend to work, but they don't work well. So they would like to charge you, take money from you, and they wouldn't do the work. So you can see over here that it was raining. And this I'll talk about in the next video. I was relocating our nursery house from up there to where the carpenters are. So initially I constructed a nursery house over there. I was just trying to also get into it and do things myself, but unfortunately it was broken down by the rain because I did not factor in the slope very well. So I had to get in the carpenter to come and help me, which after they also did this, you realize that it was also broken down. So now this is after the rain has stopped. You can see over there that we had put our drip tips on, and yes, still the water was still there because we had still not made the channels fully through. So we've done it now, and I'll be sharing more of this in our next episode. And I'll just say that don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on my journey. I believe that together we can inspire each other and make a real difference back home in Ghana or whichever African country or Caribbean nation where you come from. Have a nice day. Bye.